Eric Gomez. We're all moving forward with the intentions of making that fight. The Zone obviously putting pressure on us to make that fight. It's the fight to make. It's there to be made. Hopefully we can...
The boxing world just erupted with the announcement everyone's been eagerly anticipating. What seemed like an unattainable dream just days ago has now come to life, unfolding in the most shocking and unpredictable way imaginable.
And it'll like be a long time coming just because of the history of everything that went on, but I'm not going to 47, so that's why I really asked him.
Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney is finally on. The way this massive showdown was confirmed has sent shockwaves through the entire sport, with fans going wild on social media. Sources close to both teams reveal that after days of high-stakes negotiations, the two undefeated champions have struck a deal, setting the stage for the most electrifying fight of 2026.
This fight now is even more juicy than it was the first time around when they were talking about it. When they were talking about it the first time around, Haney was red hot as an undisputed lightweight champion, and Shakur was the boogeyman who was very good, but was having trouble locking in those big insider. Right. I gotta be honest, man. Like,
the announcement came just hours after Shakur fired back at Haney's public challenge on social media, with insiders revealing that serious talks had been brewing privately for weeks before going public. But the shocking twists behind how this fight came together and the huge compromises both fighters had to make are truly mind-blowing, showing just how desperate both sides were for this showdown. But before we dive into the jaw-dropping details of the deal, let's rewind and explore how this all began and why everyone thought this fight was never going to happen. Just days ago, Devin Haney dropped a bold statement on social media that threw the entire boxing world into a frenzy, leaving fans stunned by its timing and sheer confidence.
We'll grow into whatever weight you're in.
All of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, getting bigger. It's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights, which even though I know that they making new guys is...
Haney took to X, posting, "Me and Shakur is the next biggest fight in boxing. I want him and Keshin, little bro then big bro." The call-out was bold and public, putting immense pressure on Shakur to respond, forcing him to either accept the challenge or risk being labeled as avoiding competition. Many boxing insiders believe Haney's team strategically timed this call-out to follow Shakur's dominant win over Teofimo Lopez, capitalizing on the momentum and media frenzy at its peak.
And brought in Debo, Devin the Dream Haney for the live fight broadcast. And both of you is on the list.
Sources close to Haney's camp revealed that his team saw this as the perfect moment to strike, knowing Shakur would be riding high on confidence and couldn't back down without losing face. One insider disclosed that Haney's promotional team had been plotting this social media call-out for nearly 2 weeks, waiting for the ideal moment to make their move. From a promotional perspective, the timing was flawless, shifting all the focus to Haney and Shakur, while other potential challengers, like Conor Ben, were still tangled up in negotiations.
First, Dev, is that back on the table as far as us as fans should be talking about this, or is that y'all think it's just doing some Twitter shit?
Nah, I mean, that's cool. Like I told you, I'll fight him. I'll move up to 40 and fight him. Like there's no changing like what I think about that fight. I think that'll be a big fight too in the sport.
Shakur's response came swiftly, laced with a cryptic warning that had everyone scrambling to decipher his carefully chosen words. He quoted Haney's tweet, writing, "Be careful what you ask for. Things might just happen." That response immediately ignited a frenzy, with fans and analysts debating whether Shakur was truly accepting the challenge or simply talking tough with no real intention. However, sources close to Shakur's camp told trusted journalists that this wasn't just random trash talk, but rather a signal that negotiations had been quietly underway for days. One boxing insider with direct knowledge revealed that Shakur and Haney's teams had been in talks for at least 10 days before any of this went public.
What is good? Devin Haney said that
Never earned $1 million.
You said that he would have earned $1 million or something around them lines. Well, what do you make of his comment?
I never said that. I promoted him. I paid him over $1 million about 8 times. So I knew all about it. I'm just being honest. like his performance against.
The social media exchange was reportedly part of a carefully orchestrated strategy to generate massive public interest and apply pressure on the networks and promoters to meet the fighters' financial demands. Many believe this move was a savvy play, as public callouts spark fan demand, forcing promoters like Eddie Hearn and networks like DAZN to take the fight seriously and open their checkbooks.
Guys like Shakur, still got, Ryan Garcia. It's a huge fight. It's a lot of guys coming up. They make a new guy every day. We got Abdullah Mason, we got Kermel. It's young guys coming up, and I see them in the rear view. So I'm not.
What happened next in the negotiations is where things get truly fascinating, shedding light on just how complicated it's become to make mega fights in modern boxing. Sources with insight into the discussions revealed that the primary sticking point was the weight class and the specific restrictions for the fight. Shakur, holding the WBO super lightweight title at 140 pounds, and Devin Haney, the WBO welterweight champion at 147 pounds, created a natural 7 pounds gap. Insiders disclosed that Shakur's team initially pushed for a strict 10 pounds rehydration clause, the same demand he made during the failed negotiations with Conor Benn.
How does that fight get made then?
If he's not going to agree, then we probably don't fight. So he's just wasting time. We'll see, but I'm a businessman at the end of the day, and like I said, he did a rehydration clause with Chris Eubank. Chris Eubank was in the ring half dead. Why can't he do the same thing?
The rehydration clause would limit how much weight Haney could gain back after the weigh-in, preventing him from using a significant size advantage on fight night. However, insiders revealed that Haney's camp strongly opposed this demand, with his father, Bill Haney, reportedly insisting in private meetings that his son wouldn't accept any artificial restrictions. One person who claimed to be present during the virtual negotiation shared that tensions ran high during a particularly intense video call, where both sides refused to back down. The breakthrough came when promoters, eager to make the fight happen for the massive payday it promised, proposed a compromise. Sources disclosed that the final agreement includes Shakur moving up to a catch weight of 144 pounds, splitting the difference between super lightweight and welterweight to create a fair balance for both fighters.
Happens right now. This is the right timing too, because both are at a good moment in their careers.
Very high.
It's actually,
and there's a title on the line.
It's actually simmered better than it had back then. And back then it was really something that you wanted to see. But now, because of Shakur's reason.
In addition, a modified rehydration clause will reportedly limit Haney to gaining back only 12 pounds, rather than the unlimited weight he had hoped for, giving Shakur some protection. This compromise seemed to satisfy both camps, as Shakur gets the size protection he wanted, while Haney doesn't have to drop to 140 pounds or accept the strict 10 pounds rehydration limit that derailed the Benn fight. Sources familiar with the financial terms revealed that both fighters will receive career-high purses, with the fight expected to generate at least $50 million in total revenue from pay-per-view and sponsorships. While the exact purse split remains confidential, insiders suggest it's close to a 60-40th split in Shakur's favor, given that he's the defending champion and coming off his victory over Lopez.
It was really difficult to watch. And although he beat Brian Norman, and it's a massive achievement, I just think that he's not fighting to his capabilities. I think he's gun shy. But I still, if you listen to my interviews, what I say is I give him respect. He deserves that respect and credit because he's a 3-division world champion.
What ultimately sealed the deal, according to multiple sources, was intervention from a major Middle Eastern investor who recognized the massive global potential of this fight. Reports suggest that Turki Al-Sheikh, a figure known for revolutionizing boxing through substantial investments, personally got involved in the negotiations and helped bridge the financial gap between both camps. One boxing promoter, who requested anonymity, stated that without Turki Al-Sheikh's involvement and his willingness to guarantee both fighters their asking prices, this fight likely would have never come to fruition. Sources familiar with the planning revealed that the tentative date for the fight is set for late May or early June 2026, allowing both fighters ample time to prepare. Madison Square Garden is currently the frontrunner to host the event, although there is significant interest from venues in Las Vegas and possibly even Saudi Arabia, should Turkey choose to take it there.
As if I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me, personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
Sources close to the venue negotiations revealed that Madison Square Garden is ready to guarantee a sellout crowd and has already started preliminary marketing discussions with both camps about the promotion. The official announcement is expected within the next 7 to 10 days, once all the final paperwork is signed and the promotional teams finalize the press conference timing. Now, let's dive into what this fight truly means for both fighters and why the stakes are monumental for their legacies and futures in the sport. For Shakur Stevenson, this is his chance to shut down critics who label him as boring and prove he can defeat another elite defensive fighter in a high-stakes, mainstream matchup. Many boxing experts believe that a win over Haney would catapult Shakur into the top 3 pound-for-pound rankings, opening the door for even bigger matchups at welterweight.
T don't know exactly who he's facing. And I just feel like Shakur is just so focused, so locked in. But not only that, I just feel like his IQ is just on a whole nother level. Shakur IQ is crazy, for real. And he's going to show that, January 31st.
Sources close to Shakur's team revealed that his long-term plan is to eventually move up to challenge for titles at 147 pounds and possibly even 154 pounds, depending on how his body develops. One insider shared that Shakur sees the Haney fight as the perfect test to determine if his defensive skills can handle a naturally bigger opponent. For Devin Haney, this fight is his chance to prove he's more than just a decision fighter who wins technical battles that fail to excite casual fans. Throughout his career, Haney has faced criticism for being too cautious and not taking enough risks to create the thrilling moments that generate superfight status and massive pay-per-view numbers. People close to Haney's camp reportedly say he believes that a dominant victory over Shakur would finally earn him the respect he deserves as one of boxing's elite talents. One trainer who works with fighters in Haney's gym revealed that Devin has been fixated on this matchup for over a year, truly believing his size will be the deciding factor. However, it's the stylistic clash that has boxing purists buzzing, as both fighters are defensive maestros who rely on intelligence, not power, to dominate at the highest level. Many analysts predict this could turn into a chess match reminiscent of Floyd Mayweather versus Andre Berto, where two defensive geniuses make each other look average by shutting down everything the other attempts. Tim Bradley recently stated that Shakur's footwork and IQ give him the edge, while Andre Ward argues that Haney's size and reach will ultimately be too much to overcome.
Shakur is still getting better. He's still growing as a fighter. He's still growing as a man. He's not even at his peak yet. Let me say that again.
The fan reaction to this fight announcement has been sharply divided, with passionate arguments on both sides about who will win and whether the fight will be exciting or boring. One viral tweet, which racked up over 50,000 likes, read, "Shakur versus Haney is either going to be a masterclass or a snooze fest, no in between. And I genuinely can't predict which," another popular post claimed. This is the fight that separates the real boxing fans from the casuals. If you can't appreciate this matchup, you don't understand the sport at all. The contrasting reactions perfectly highlight the divide between hardcore boxing aficionados, who value technical brilliance, and casual fans, who crave knockouts and drama above all else. Promoters are banking on both fighters' large social media followings and the built-in rivalry narrative to generate enough buzz for significant pay-per-view buys.
He is a good fighter, but I just don't think he's exciting to watch. I don't think he's going to be a draw outside of getting paid for those Saudi events. And I think if that stopped, you'd see that quite quickly. But he's a very good fighter. He's tough to beat. But if you think that was exciting to watch, you're telling...
Sources close to the promotional strategy revealed that both camps are gearing up for calculated trash talk and face-offs designed to create viral moments without crossing the line into genuine disrespect. One marketing executive shared that the promotion will lean heavily on the undefeated versus undefeated angle, emphasizing that someone's perfect record must go. The training camps for both fighters will be crucial, as this is the type of matchup where small technical adjustments could be the difference between winning and losing every round. People familiar with Shakur's preparation revealed that he plans to bring in multiple southpaw sparring partners who can replicate Haney's height, reach, and patient fighting style as closely as possible. On the other hand, sources close to Haney's camp stated that his team is already analyzing footage of Shakur's past fights, searching for patterns and tendencies to exploit during the bout. One strength and conditioning coach who works with elite fighters predicted that both camps will focus intensely on stamina, as this fight is expected to go the full 12 rounds.
It's more of my natural self, more of, who I really am. In past fights, you guys see me, as a more of a shell of myself, because, I wish you.
The selection of judges and the referee will be absolutely crucial, as in a close, technical fight. The right officials can be the difference between victory and defeat. Boxing insiders expect both camps to carefully negotiate which athletic commission oversees the fight and which judges are chosen to score it, aiming to avoid any potential bias. The potential impact of this fight on the welterweight and super lightweight divisions is monumental, as the winner immediately becomes the prime target for every other champion. If Shakur wins, sources suggest he would likely shift to full-time campaigning at 147 pounds, potentially challenging champions like Mario Barrios or even seeking a massive showdown with Terence Crawford, if available. However, if Haney wins convincingly, people familiar with his mindset believe he would push for a rematch with Ryan Garcia to settle their controversial first encounter once and for all.
Ryan Garcia, you good for nothing in the sport of boxing. You come out with 4 or 5 days left to your 4th positive PED test, and you say now you want to start your own league, that you don't care if you're banned from the sport of boxing. Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan, you and everybody with you need a foot in your ass.
The loser of Shakur versus Haney won't be finished by any means, but they'll undoubtedly take a step back in terms of negotiating power and the caliber of opportunities available. One promoter, who requested anonymity, shared with boxing journalists that in today's market, one loss to another elite fighter doesn't end a career, but it certainly complicates the path to the next super fight. As the official announcement draws near, expect both fighters to increase their social media activity and public statements, all aimed at building maximum hype and anticipation for this clash. The press conference announcing the fight is likely to become one of the most watched boxing events of the year, as fans eagerly await both fighters' game plan reveals. Sources close to the planning revealed that promoters are considering a multi-city press tour hitting New York, Los Angeles, and possibly London, to maximize global interest in the matchup.
And Haney still being undefeated and having righted the ship, winning as an underdog against Brian Norman. I rate that. I rate when you take on a fight as an underdog and you win it. I rate that. That's why Haney, for me, got into the circle of trust, because he wasn't trying to milk.
The boxing world hasn't been this excited about a pure boxer versus boxer matchup since the prime years of Floyd Mayweather's career, when technical mastery still captivated massive audiences. That's all for now. For the latest updates on news, moments, events, and all things boxing, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when we drop high-quality content like this. Until next time, peace.